So the money is there. So you were saying you were making between $3,500 and $4,000.
I've been able to get financially stable and have some financial freedom through the combination of DoorDash and vehicle dwelling. That's the main takeaway for me, is that I've been able to get financially free.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my next video. Over the years, probably the biggest question I've gotten was, how can I support myself if I'm on the road? How can I afford to be a nomad? And for those of us on a fixed income, the answer is pretty simple. We just live on our fixed income. But if you're younger, or if your fixed income is low, then you're probably going to have to work. And today we're here with Rowan. Hi, Rowan.
Hello.
And Rowan has found a really excellent way to support yourself on the road, and that's working for DoorDash. So we're going to tell you all about DoorDash today. And Rowan, on your YouTube channel, you talk about DoorDash quite a bit. So give people your YouTube channel so they can check it out there.
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel, and it's called Just Rowan. Kind of the way it sounds. It's JUSTROWAN.
So for all the details, we're just going to go over it briefly here. For all the details, go to her channel and check that out. So how long have you been doing DoorDash?
Well, I started DoorDash years ago in Washington when it first came to the greater Seattle area, and I was doing it part-time while I was still teaching. Probably been doing it since around 2017, part-time, and then at different times it became my full-time job.
So you have a lot of experience. I mean, this isn't just you've done it once or twice and you think it's great.
Yeah.
You've been doing it long enough to have a really good feel for what it is and how it works. Mm-hmm. Okay, and so you are now a full-time nomad. It's 2 years? Is that right? 2 years on,
coming up in April.
In April. And you have done it on and off as a nomad.
Yes.
So tell us all about your experience specifically as a nomad doing DoorDash.
When I first moved full-time into my vehicle, I had been doing it DoorDash full-time to pay for my bills of an apartment because I had a son and I was waiting for him to graduate high school. So I was able to do it kind of in one area and make quite a bit, like enough to cover my bills for the apartment. And then I started to plan and think, okay, well, once I move into my vehicle after he graduates high school, let me see if I can do this in more areas than just one. And so I took kind of a trial road trip for 6 weeks. I took it on the road and I was able to earn the same amount, which was roughly $3,500 to $4,000 a month. And that's amazing. It's a lot of work. It's not easy, but I did it. And that, of course, there's deductions. That wasn't kind of my net amount. And so I took it on the road. At first, I wasn't sure if you could go state to state, but I Googled it. I looked up different things and found out that, yes, you could go state to state. And I took a trip. I think I went through Oregon and Utah and Colorado and was able to travel and DoorDash in different cities and then stay around the city and move to a different city. So that really opened things up. And it made me realize that I could travel around the country and DoorDash and still be able to pay my bills, which once I moved into a vehicle were a lot lower. You know, I kind of knew what I could make too, so it also enabled me to be able to save.
You pretty much have to do that in larger cities. Is that true?
Yes and no. There are different promotions, and you can kind of build your way up through the app. And so if you do, it's 100 deliveries per month, and your ratings are at a certain amount. You get what's called a top dasher, and so that you're able to dash wherever, whenever, as long as it's an area that offers DoorDash. If you don't have that, you have to sign up for windows, and so that's a little more limiting because it's only times that are more busy or less saturated. You can go to cities, but then sometimes there are more rural areas. Like I found that outside of Seattle up towards Snoqualmie Pass, this is a little hint for anybody in Washington DoorDashing, the North Bend Snoqualmie area, on the weekends and the evenings, the tips were amazing. And so I would just make sure I was there for kind of a few hour window in the evenings. And I mean, it was sometimes close to $40 an hour for those 3 hours. So sometimes there are pockets. And you kind of just have to look at the map and try different areas and explore.
So the money is there. It's if you work at it and you're good at it, you can make the money. So you were saying you were making between $3,500 and $4,000. Do you think that is, if someone is out there listening and they're willing to go in the city and they'd have to stealth park and really devote themselves to it, could they make that much?
I believe so. My experience was if you're willing to work hard and go for it and take the orders when they come in and not be too picky and just take them and go and say, I'm going to do this for 8 to 12 hours today, that yes, you can absolutely make that much money. That's been my experience. And it wasn't just one lucky month. It was months of that.
So does DoorDash get a percent, I would assume?
Well, that's they have an instant payout. So when you do the delivery, they automatically take that out. So when you get paid right after the delivery,
you make a delivery and they've got they have your bank account and it's right there.
It's a DoorDash account, and then you can connect it to a bank account and you can transfer. There used to be a 50-cent fee and there isn't anymore. And some of these details may have changed because they're frequently making updates, but this is what I know most currently. You can access it instantly. They take their cut out right then. And so then you're responsible for doing your own financial management and keeping track of your expenses and also setting aside some for taxes, your wear and tear on your vehicle. And so that amount was more like $2,500 net after all of that was said and done. I've been able to get financially stable and have some financial freedom through the combination of DoorDash and vehicle dwelling and other doors that's opened up for me. But I think that's the main takeaway for me. And if I can pass that on to people, is that I've been able to get financially free. And it didn't feel like that when you have to get up and go to a job and you have all of that you're earning then turns into your apartment or your house, but then you're never even there because you're just working.
So did you DoorDash using your van?
I have DoorDashed in the van, and I found actually that because of the mileage, it's not worth it to me. If I had to do it, I could do it. My earnings wouldn't be as much as a lower mileage vehicle. So what I was DoorDashing in was a Honda Pilot. That's what I took around the country.
Right.
And that was a great vehicle because it was comfortable in terms of car life, and I had a kitchen set up. And there are tours on my channel of that car. I could, sleep in it comfortably. I could cook in it. I had a whole setup in there, but the mileage was a lot better. And then I had another car that I did that, a Toyota Corolla actually, that I was able to stay in as well.
I think the ideal vehicle would be a hybrid SUV.
Yes.
Like the RAV4. That would be the ideal thing. I mean, you're getting 40 miles to the gallon and up. You're still comfortable enough to live in it.
I think a hybrid vehicle, absolutely. I know people that have stayed in Priuses. They live in Priuses, and that would be another good one. If you're looking to just kind of like bust it out and save up some money, I would probably pick a region, maybe a couple cities you could bounce back and forth to, just for some variety. And I think it kind of like does some good things with the app if you're in a new zone. So you can kind of reset that way. Keep things interesting, but not do really long distances, and then just hit those weekends. Sundays are often really good days during football games, holidays. It's when I was, more fixed in Washington. I would go to Seattle with the goal of like 200 or 250 a day, and I could do that. But I would leave early, get started maybe 8:30, and then sometimes work until 10, 11 at night. So it's a long day, but 250 a day. I mean, that's good.
So I guess one of my big questions about doing it would be, I'm going to have to be stealth parking in a city for, say I want to stop for a month, I just want to build up some cash, I'm going to DoorDash dawn to dusk, dawn to night, and where am I sleeping in that time? You're just stealth parking around the city? Stealth
parking, yeah. So usually as I'm driving around, DoorDashing is great because for identifying places to stay, because you're kind of exploring the neighborhood in a way that if you're just traveling through and you're going to the gas stations and things, you wouldn't be. You see neighborhoods, you see apartment complexes, things like that where and I've screenshot on my map like an intersection, as a place to come back to. So street parking is a great option. A lot of times the signs make it look like there's no parking, but if you actually read the sign, it'll say 2-hour parking between 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. or something. Mm-hmm. And so if you go DoorDash until 8 at night, park there, spend an hour winding down or whatever, sleep, and get up at 6 or 7 a.m. and move, like it's fine. Nobody's going to bother you. And then there are establishments that are, friendly to park at, where you can go, sometimes a Walmart or places like that. But I've found that with stealth camping, it's almost easier. If you're thinking about doing it kind of full time to the extent of these 8 to 12-hour days, there will be slow periods in the day. Usually in the afternoon, there's a lunch rush, and then there's a slowdown from maybe 1 to 3. And so you'll get into a rhythm and kind of, plan your day. When it does slow down, you can pause the dash for half an hour and think, okay, this is a great time to, make some food or get some food and just have a little downtime. It's important to build in that downtime.
So it really seems completely viable for a nomad, not only to get by, but to save.
Yes.
So for one thing, this puts you in a city, and cities come with their own inherent risk and danger, especially for women. And have you ever felt threatened or at risk? Is it safe?
I have not ever felt unsafe. Well, there was actually in a rural setting a couple times. There was one time where I just felt a little bit uneasy, and so it used to be you always hand in different parts of the country, it's interesting because there's two options. You can either drop the food off and the customer will ask them to hand it to you, or you can leave it on their porch and take a picture and send that. And so I saw a rise in leave it on the porch and drop it off. So it's just interesting. That's another element of, are you actually meeting a person face to face? If they don't then come to the door, it's like, where do you leave the food? And it's so there's some of the logistics of drop off that you can kind of pay attention to. And then there was one time it was very rural and I just didn't feel very comfortable there. And it was probably fine, but fortunately it was one where you drop it off. And I just hurried up, I dropped it off. It was dark out, but I just kind of stayed aware of my surroundings and I just left.
So if someone is thinking about doing it not just full time, are there better times of the year? Are holidays better, or are they worse? Or when should you be thinking about doing it in particular, if you just want to work a little while?
So holidays are hit or miss. Like leading up to the holidays can sometimes be slower, but on the actual holiday can be really good. So if people are willing to work holidays, those can be good days. The weekend times, I kind of have to get to know a city, because usually either Friday or Saturday will be better, not both. Saturday morning is also a great time.
Oh.
The morning times, I'm a morning person, so I was happy to get up and go in the morning. So early morning is a great window.
Okay, so for people out there that are interested in getting started, how do they get started?
There's an app, and you can sign up on the app.
There's an app.
There's an app
what
for it.
What a surprise.
My whole life is on apps these days. Yeah. So you download the app, you put in your personal information. It takes about 2 to 4 weeks, I would say. Really? At least when I did, and what I've heard, I've helped other people get signed up, and it seems pretty consistent. They'll send you a package in the mail. It includes a bag and, I don't know, some other things. And then you can order stuff. You pay for it, but you can order like a hat or a shirt and get all the DoorDash stuff. People sometimes get really into that. Or you can just go as you are. And I think that's another thing that I liked about it, is that, you didn't have to, there's no dress code for it. You want to look presentable, pull your hair back, have clean hands and things like that. But really it's, you want to get people their food in a timely manner. That's that's really what people want. They're hungry, they want their food, and they want it from this place, and they want you to bring it to them. And on your YouTube channel, you have quite a bit of information about this, or if they have a question, they can contact you on your YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. So tell the folks how they can get in contact with you on whatever social media you have. Yeah, so I have a YouTube channel. As I said, it's just Rowan. That's ROWAN. On that channel is my email that's listed. And I can be slow to responding to emails, but I do try to respond or send it a couple times. but that is a way to get in that is the way to get in contact with me.
So I know a lot of you are interested, and be sure and go check out her channel and write her if you have a question. Well, Rowan, thank you so much for sharing all this information. It was a lot of information, but boy, you presented it so well, and man, it just seems like a great opportunity for a lot of people.
Yeah, I know it's been a great opportunity for me, and it's one that I recommend just because of the amount of flexibility.
If you got anything out of today's video, like us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and we'll talk to you on the next video.